Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are covering the Hoarfrost Z, the new Stasis Titan exotic that came out with the Witch Queen. This exotic is quite strong and has not been covered at all by anybody. And I think this exotic needs a good look and a good breakdown so people can understand if this exotic is for them. I personally think this exotic is quite good, and with the build I made for it, you can really abuse it and really have some fun with it. I think this build could have endgame potential. I've not personally played with it, but if you do, please respond in the comments. Tell me what you think of it. Alright, we're going to head into a much more lengthy video because I needed to break down the exotic itself and then cover the whole build. So I hope everyone enjoys, and we're going to head into the exotic breakdown. Alright, let's head into the breakdown of this exotic. This exotic has a lot going on with it, and instead of just going into a build right away, I wanted to break down how this exotic works because there's a lot to cover here. So first up, what does it actually do? It turns your class ability directly into a stasis wall as such, and the stasis wall has a little crack on it that you can shoot through. The first thought is, well, what about your teammates? Well, the solution I'll show you in just a second is you can actually just break these crystals and you still have the rally barricade buff on your screen. And the rally barricade buff goes away right when the barricade usually does. See? So you basically know how long your barricade is on the screen because you have the rally barricade buff on your screen, which gives you the natural things a rally barricade would. Max reload speed, better way to show this here, or better yet there. It increases your range, and so on and so forth. Decreases your flinch in PvP. So everything your rally barricade would do, this barricade does. It's just larger and actually protects you from a lot of things. That is the basic idea around this chess piece. It's literally what it sounds like. Just it's important to know that if you're playing this with teammates, you pop it, you break, and now your teammates can walk up and shoot with you because they can stand beside you with plenty of space and they can shoot whatever you're shooting at, right? And I haven't tried it with teammates, but I'm sure they can just walk up and punch these crystals to be able to see. So yes, I think this rally barricade is very strong just this way alone. Now let's head into the build so I can go ahead and show you how I'm taking advantage of everything in here to make a very strong build with this exotic. Alright, let's head into the build now. First up, we're going to go to our subclass. Our subclass is obviously Behemoth. This Hoarfrost does not work on any other class. It simply just doesn't do anything for you on any other class. So it is a specific Stasis Titan exotic. Luckily, Stasis Titan is in a pretty good place right now, unlike it was 9 months ago. It's overall in a pretty good spot. Our aspects are going to be Howl of the Storm. This one is the aspect that gives you a change to your melee when you're sliding. This is actually shockingly strong this way. Because you can create stasis crystals to help give yourself more grenade energy for dust fields, and to give yourself more overshield with Whisper of Rhyme. We are also going to use Tectonic Harvest. This is a huge part of the class and getting back everything for the build. We are on dust field grenades because those are the strongest stasis grenade. And the higher your discipline, the faster your grenades can come back. With this build, though, I can get my grenade back faster than 24 seconds, even at 7 discipline. So that's pretty cool. Our fragments are going to be Whisper of Chains. This is going to give us a 15% damage reduction when we're near our wall or any stasis crystal we generate. This is also going to give us 10 recovery, so we only have to build into 9 recovery effectively, right? That is a huge part of build crafting here on Stasis. Next, we're going to run Whisper of Shards. This is going to make it so that when we melee those stasis crystals on our wall, you will see it boosts our grenade recharge rate. It makes our grenade recharge time really fast. Next is Whisper of Refraction. This is going to allow it so that whenever we kill a target that was slowed or frozen by either the wall, because this wall actually, the new barricade actually freezes stuff when you pop it on top of them. It's like basically running a glacier grenade that you can control exactly where you pop it. And this will grant us class ability energy whenever we kill any of those targets. And then lastly, when we pick up any stasis shards, we're going to get a small amount of stasis overshield that lasts for 10 seconds. You can refresh the timer or add to your total overshield to be higher. Sorry for the yawn there. And this lets you farm overshield really fast, and lets you be pretty tanky, because this overshield is not a traditional, it's not a void overshield, it is a more traditional overshield, and so its health is a lot beefier, and it's more like having a one-eyed mask overshield, or a like healing rift overshield. It's a much stronger overshield than the void overshield is. Alright, we're going to head to the armor now. First up on our helmet, we have Reaping Wellmaker. This is going to make it so that when we pop our class ability, we're going to be able to spawn 2 Void Elemental Wells on our next weapon kill. Not primary weapon kill, any weapon kill on a enemy will spawn a Void Elemental Well. We also have Kinetic Siphon on because this lets us generate orbs of power with our weapon. You could also run Void Siphon if you want to run Funnel Web or a Void Primary this season. You could run that. You can also run Harmonic Siphon if you have a Stasis Primary you want to pair with this. You can run Harmonic Siphon. Alrighty. Next, on to the gloves. Our gloves first start up with a melee kickstart. This lets us give ourselves melee energy to begin with. This is to make sure that we get the ability to farm those stasis crystals, and those stasis crystals give as much melee energy as possible. Also here we have an elemental shards. This is going to turn any of those stasis shards we have into normal stasis elemental wells. And they're on a slight cooldown compared to regular elemental wells, and I think that's okay especially since you can farm them pretty easily. But overall, it is very strong because the stasis shards in general give you melee energy, and so you can like double up on melee energy in some cases with Will of Restoration, which we will get to where I have that. Next up, we are on to our exotic and chest piece. It is today set to Void. I think Void this season is just the strongest way to have your chest piece, because you can run all 3 resists, right? And you don't have to worry about resists in any in-game activity then. And I do think this build could work in in-game activity. I haven't played around with it, but I think it could work. It would take a little bit of practice and getting used to, but I think you could make this work even at the GM level. You just have to get used to where and when to pop your barricade, right? But in general, we have Will of Tenacity here on our Void chest piece. This is to let that Reaping Wellmaker we put on our helmet, and then now we can take advantage of that to give us that 50% damage resistance. And in fact, if you are standing next to a stasis crystal and have Will of Tenacity on, you can actually go to 60% damage resistance, which is really strong, and the only other way to do that is to be invised by an Omnioculus Hunter. Alright. Next up is our boots. Our boots are also set to Void here. This is the first time my boots in any gameplay probably have not been set to Solar, which is kind of crazy. But we have a Will of Utility here when they're set to Solar. This gives me a little bit of class ability energy when I go pick up that stasis element, that void elemental well, which will just grant me a little bit more class ability energy, which will let me farm my class ability just a little bit more, right? We also have a better already, so any void elementals, any orbs of power we pick up will immediately start a health regeneration, which will be helpful to keep us alive. I also have a rocket scav on because I was running G-Horn in the gameplay, and then I have a small recovery mod on just to make sure my recovery gets to that 100 mark. Lastly, we're going to head to our class item. Our class item today is on Stasis. This is for Utility Kickstart. We have 2 of them on here. However, you could take both of these off if you wanted to and run Lucent Finisher with some mod moving. You can run Lucent Finisher here, which would be nice. And you can run Well of Restoration, or on your gloves you can swap this and run Elemental Shards here. If you needed to run Lucent Finisher, though probably on Titan you won't be running Lucent Finisher, probably. But we'll see how the GM meta goes. But if you like Lucent Finisher and it's something you want on your class, you can move stuff around to make it work here. But I would run with this build for now. If you need Lucent Finisher, you can make it work. But we have a Well of Restoration, so that way those elemental shards are going to give us a little bit more energy to that least charged ability. It'll already do that naturally because they're stasis elemental wells while you're on a stasis class, but they're going to give us additional ability energy on top of that, and that's going to really help us chain both our melee, our grenade, and our barricade. Lastly, here is just a recovery mod. Once again, tell me to get my stats to 100. That is all for the build. Now we're going to head into the end of the video. Alright, that's it for the video today. The biggest thing about this exotic is remembering your cooldown times. Remembering that this is essentially a glacier grenade that you can pop at any point on top of enemies. This exotic is really strong. I've not played around with it in endgame activities, I'll be honest. But I actually do think this build has potential. I don't make builds usually unless I think they have potential to be ran at even the highest level. And I do think this build has potential to be ran at the highest level. Simply because it's a rally barricade that isn't crap. And rally barricade is really strong, but the problem with rally barricade is it provides 0 protection to you. And I think this is a good solution to rally barricade. And if you like the reload speed of rally barricade, and rally barricade does do useful things for your teammates. The reload speed buff is great, obviously, right? Lets your warlocks come off of Lunas if they wish, because you can just pop this behind y'all and boom, now you have a rally barricade, right? And you have the rally barricade, reload speed and everything. So I do think this exotic is really strong. If you do go to play this in endgame content, let me know how it plays. I haven't had a chance yet because I've been so addicted to Void Titan, but let me know how this plays in endgame content. I think it has real potential simply because of how fast you can throw a Dustfield grenade with this build. And that's kind of incredible, right? Because Dustfields they don't have that pull anymore, but if you can throw them correctly, they're still really strong. They make enemies freeze. That's strong enough on its own. But that is going to be all for the video today. I hope everyone has learned something about the Hoarfrost Z. If you did and you enjoyed this video, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more Stasis Titan builds and more builds in general. I will see everybody on Tuesday for a brand new build, and goodbye.
It feels like a trap.